It's horrible.
I have spoken to a number of people who say that these drugs hurt them and change their lives for the worse.
Ozempic can cause bone density loss. I have significant bone loss.
Hollywood is changing before our eyes, not with fading careers or missed auditions, but with faces you can barely recognize, and bodies shrinking at an alarming pace. Behind every dazzling red carpet pose hides a dangerous trend, a new celebrity obsession, a diabetes drug turned weight loss miracle. That's now becoming Hollywood's worst kept secret. But here's the part no one talks about: the terrifying side effects, the health scares, the regret, and the stars who wish they could turn back time. Stay tuned, because we're about to reveal which A-listers gambled everything for the perfect body, and why some are paying a shocking price. Chelsea Handler shattered Hollywood's code of silence. While most stars dodged the question, she looked straight into the camera and admitted it. She had been on the drug, but here's the twist. She didn't even know it at first. Her own anti-aging doctor slipped it into her treatments. Everyone's on it, the doctor reportedly told her. Handed out like candy. For Chelsea, the results weren't glamorous. They were terrifying. Nausea so intense she couldn't work. Days lost lying in bed, energy gone, mood swings that wrecked her personal life, and digestive issues so bad she needed medical help. Handler described it as poisoning myself for vanity. She tried to laugh it off in her usual comedic style, but her words hit hard. I'm not going to take a diabetic's medicine for weight loss. I felt like I was dying. Even after she quit, the nightmare didn't end. She told fans that her body didn't just bounce back. Months later, she was still struggling with stomach problems. Her energy never fully returned. The damage seemed to linger. And the photos? They told their own story. A once radiant face now looked dramatically altered. The glow replaced with hollow cheeks and tired eyes. Handler herself admitted she hardly recognized her reflection. What makes Chelsea's confession so powerful is that she pulled back the curtain. While other stars stay silent, she said out loud what many fear: that these so-called miracle shots come with consequences no one is ready for. Chelsea's warning is blunt and brutal. Rapid weight loss might look good in photos, but the price? Your health, your happiness, even your identity. And the scariest part? If someone as strong and outspoken as Chelsea Handler was blindsided by this, imagine what it's doing to the celebrities who stay silent. Lizzo built her empire on one message: love yourself exactly as you are. She sang it, she preached it. She became the global face of body positivity. But then came the photos. One night in LA, paparazzi caught her slipping into a hotspot, and fans almost didn't recognize her. Her body looked drastically different. Slimmer, sharper. The transformation was so sudden it shocked even her most loyal supporters. The internet exploded. One viral comment cut the deepest. So body positivity was just a brand? For years, Lizzo told millions to embrace their natural bodies. Now, those same fans felt betrayed. The woman who made them feel proud of their imperfections suddenly looked like she had abandoned her own. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper of a painful truth. Record label pressure, declining streaming numbers, industry executives allegedly pushing her to fit the mold if she wanted to stay on top. Imagine the conflict. Publicly, Lizzo had to be the champion of self-love. Privately, she was fighting the same Hollywood beauty standards she once condemned. And here's where it gets even messier. This wasn't just a physical change, it was an ideological one. The shift from love yourself to do whatever it takes. For fans who built their own confidence on Lizzo's words, the backlash was brutal. Comment sections turned ugly. Headlines screamed hypocrisy. Her message, her brand, her very identity, all thrown into question. Insiders claim Lizzo has been struggling with the weight of it all. Not the physical weight, the emotional burden. Torn between the image she sells and the reality of surviving in Hollywood's cutthroat system. Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. Even Lizzo, the queen of confidence, isn't immune to the pressure. In Hollywood, authenticity doesn't always pay the bills. And sometimes the very people who tell us to love ourselves secretly can't love their own reflection. John Goodman, a Hollywood legend, a man who built a career on his larger-than-life presence, both on screen and off. But when he walked into a private industry event recently, guests froze. They didn't recognize him. Gone was the hearty, booming figure who could light up a room. In his place stood a gaunt, hollow-faced man who looked like a shadow of himself. One guest whispered, "I didn't even realize it was him until someone pointed it out." The photos spread quietly at first, but those who saw them were stunned. Was this the price of survival in Hollywood? Goodman's transformation raised one haunting question. Why would a man with an established career risk everything with rapid weight loss? Sources close to the actor suggest it wasn't vanity. It was desperation. Younger actors were landing roles that once had his name written all over them, and allegedly, his own agent urged him to modernize his look to stay competitive. For a veteran who had already proven himself countless times, that kind of pressure cuts deep. But the story doesn't end with his appearance. Reports claim Goodman has faced serious health scares since the transformation. Allegedly, 2 separate trips to the ER, yet his representatives remain silent. No statements, no explanations. Behind the curtain, friends are worried. Some are said to be staging quiet interventions, trying to pull him back before it's too late. But others fear the damage is already done. Think about it. John Goodman's career was never built on chiseled abs or a perfect jawline. Audiences loved him for his warmth, his humor, his humanity. And now all of that is at risk because Hollywood can't let go of its obsession with thinness. The most disturbing part, if an icon like John Goodman, a man who already made it, feels forced to put his health on the line just to stay relevant, what chance do younger actors have? Mindy Kaling, the writer, the actress, the comedian who built a career on wit, charm, and relatability. She wasn't the Hollywood standard, and that was the point. For years, she celebrated her curves. She made jokes about imperfection. She made fans feel seen. But recently, something changed. Dramatically, the new Mindy Kaling looks slimmer than ever, her face sharper, her body transformed almost overnight. And fans are asking the same question. How? In interviews, she's coy. "I feel healthier," she says, or "I've just made lifestyle changes." But the timeline doesn't add up. Industry insiders know natural weight loss takes time, discipline, months, even years. But Mindy's transformation? It happened during a high-pressure filming schedule, a project with notoriously demanding beauty standards. Coincidence or strategy? On social media, the signs were there. Carefully angled selfies, strategic outfits, posts designed to hide what was really happening until the big reveal. And behind the scenes, former colleagues paint a very different picture. Gone was the confident woman who wrote about embracing imperfection. In her place, someone obsessed with appearance, checking mirrors, asking how she looked from every angle, consumed by the pressure of her own reflection. The irony is brutal. The woman who gave fans permission to be imperfect, now chasing Hollywood perfection herself. And that's what makes this story hit harder than most. Because Mindy wasn't just a star, she was a role model, a voice that told millions it was okay not to look like the cover of a magazine. But if even Mindy Kaling, a woman who profited from celebrating imperfection, can't resist the Hollywood machine, what hope does anyone else have? Katy Perry, the pop icon with the Technicolor costumes, the powerhouse voice, the bubbly personality that defined a generation. But lately, fans aren't singing along to her hits. They're whispering about her face. On the red carpet, her once vibrant, full features look dramatically different. Hollow cheeks, a gaunt, almost skeletal appearance. Photos that used to glow with energy now spark concern. Behind the cameras, photographers are talking about what they call the Perry problem. How do you capture flattering images of a star whose transformation is so drastic, so unnatural, that it makes her look years older than she is? Makeup artists are struggling too. Sources say they spend extra hours contouring, blending, and reshaping, not to enhance her beauty, but to restore what rapid weight loss has taken away. The fullness, the glow, the natural softness that made her photos effortless before. But the red carpet is only half the story. Behind closed doors, the whispers are darker. Mood swings, energy crashes, private events where she reportedly needed help walking after long appearances. moments where her body simply couldn't keep up with her superstar schedule. And yet, in public, Katie stays silent. She hasn't admitted to anything. She smiles for the cameras. She poses for Instagram, but the images tell a story her words never will. The most haunting part? This isn't just about vanity, it's about survival in an industry that punishes women for aging, for changing, for being anything less than perfect. Katy Perry, once celebrated for her confidence and electric stage presence, now looks like a woman paying the ultimate price for keeping up with Hollywood's impossible standards. And her silence leaves fans asking, if Katy won't talk about it, what else is being hidden? James Corden's transformation might be the most suspicious of all. The late-night host built part of his career joking about his weight. His self-deprecating humor made him relatable. Fans felt like he was one of them. Then suddenly, he appeared slimmer, much slimmer. And the timing? Right as his talk show was ending and he was rebranding himself for the next stage of his career. Coincidence or calculation? James insists he did it the old-fashioned way. Walking, eating less, the kind of advice you'd expect to find in a self-help book at the airport. But here's the problem. Medical experts have studied his photos, and the speed of his transformation doesn't match the story. His facial changes, in particular, scream pharmaceutical intervention, not natural weight loss. Behind the cameras, the story gets darker. Staffers from his final months on The Late Late Show describe a man running on fumes, exhausted after short filming blocks, needing frequent breaks, struggling to deliver the high-energy performances he was once known for. Not exactly the picture of a man thriving on salads and strolls. Even more telling, producers allegedly had to restructure shooting schedules to give him recovery time. That kind of adjustment costs money, and in Hollywood, money always raises eyebrows. So why the secrecy? Because James built his image on honesty about his struggles. Fans loved him for being open, vulnerable, human. To admit he turned to pharmaceuticals would feel like a betrayal of that bond. So instead, he sticks to the script. Walking, portion control. This time, it's different, but the truth is written all over his face. The gaunt look, the tired eyes, the rapid changes no dietitian would call safe. For James, the weight may be gone, but so is the authenticity that once made audiences root for him. Rebel Wilson branded 2020 as her year of health, and fans loved it. She posted gym selfies, talked about discipline, even claimed to have discovered a new passion for fitness. It was inspiring, or at least it seemed that way. Because behind the curated posts, the truth may have been very different. Insiders whisper that Rebel's journey wasn't powered by kale smoothies and morning jogs. It was fueled by the same pharmaceutical shortcuts sweeping through Hollywood, and the timeline tells the real story. Rebel insists her transformation took a full year of hard work, but eagle-eyed fans spotted gaps, periods where she vanished from social media, only to reappear weeks later looking dramatically slimmer. Health experts say the speed of those changes simply doesn't align with natural methods. Then there's the branding. Rebel didn't just lose weight, she turned it into a business model. She launched fitness programs, gave motivational interviews, cashed endorsement checks by promoting her healthy lifestyle. But if the whispers are true, fans weren't just inspired, they were deceived, following advice that may have never been real in the first place. The Australian press has been especially harsh. Former colleagues describe someone who changed not just physically, but emotionally. The bubbly, confident Rebel known for celebrating imperfection, gone, replaced by someone obsessed with appearance, carefully controlling her image, guarding her secrets, and the consequences go deeper than fan betrayal. When a celebrity sells a false transformation story, it feeds toxic expectations. Fans who struggle with their own bodies try to replicate the journey. They buy the programs, they follow the diets, and when they don't see the same dramatic results, they blame themselves. But maybe the real blame lies with Rebel, because if she did rely on pharmaceutical shortcuts, then her year of health wasn't health at all. It was Hollywood marketing wrapped in sweatpants. For Rebel, the weight loss brought fame, headlines, and cash, but it may have cost her the one thing fans loved most: authenticity. Jonah Hill's body has become one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries. Not because he lost weight, not because he gained it back, but because he's done it all over and over again. Every few years, Jonah reappears with a new body. Slim, then stocky, then slim again. It's a cycle fans have watched play out like a dangerous experiment, and doctors warn it's one of the unhealthiest patterns a person can fall into. At first, Jonah made jokes about it. He leaned into the image of the funny, awkward guy, the actor who didn't care what people thought. But behind the humor, insiders say, there was pain, and each time his weight crept up, the pressure from Hollywood mounted. The result? Panic, followed by rapid, extreme attempts to slim down. Attempts that insiders claim were often fueled by the same pharmaceutical shortcuts sweeping through the industry. Look closely at his most recent transformation. The speed, the facial changes, the gaunt look that doesn't scream gym and salads. It screams pharmaceutical intervention. But here's the catch: the rebound always comes. Each time Jonah slims down, he eventually regains the weight, and every rebound makes the next crash even more desperate. Doctors call it weight cycling, fans call it worrying, and friends call it dangerous. Sources close to Jonah describe a man who has become consumed by his appearance, constantly checking mirrors, strategically posing in photos, curating his social media to show only the best angles. The once confident, self-deprecating star now appears anxious, uncomfortable, and even withdrawn in public. And the toll isn't just physical. Friends say Jonah's personality shifts with each transformation. When he's heavier, he jokes. When he's thinner, he isolates. It's a cycle not just of weight, but of identity. The most disturbing part? Health professionals warn this pattern could have lasting consequences. Heart problems, metabolic damage, even shortened lifespan, and Jonah is only in his 40s. His story isn't just about Hollywood pressure, it's about what happens when fame, body image, and pharmaceutical quick fixes collide. A man trapped in a loop he can't escape. And unless something changes, Jonah Hill's next transformation may not be about appearance at all, but about survival. Scott Disick's transformation has fans sounding the alarm. The man once known for his sharp suits, party lifestyle, and boyish charm now looks gaunt, hollow, and years older than his age. At first, people thought it was stress. After all, Scott's been through public breakups, co-parenting battles, and the constant chaos of the Kardashian empire. But insiders whisper it's more than stress. His sudden, drastic weight loss lines up perfectly with Hollywood's latest miracle drug craze. Look at the timeline. Over just a few months, Scott's face changed completely. Cheeks sunken, skin stretched tight. A look fans now call Ozempic face. And while the outside world gossiped, those closest to him grew worried. Sources say even the Kardashians, a family not exactly shy about cosmetic shortcuts, raised red flags. Kourtney in particular, concerned about the father of her children. Family conversations reportedly turned tense, with interventions attempted but unsuccessful. And then came the personality shift. Friends who once described Scott as the life of the party now say he's withdrawn, nervous, avoiding the spotlight he once thrived in. Paparazzi shots show a man who looks uncomfortable in his own skin, ducking cameras instead of playing to them. Even his appearances on the family's reality show tell the story. Behind the edited scenes, production insiders claim makeup teams worked overtime. Contouring, fillers, even lighting tricks to mask the dramatic changes in his face. Because Scott's gaunt look didn't just age him, it risked distracting from the show's polished image. And the health concerns are real. Friends say Scott's energy has plummeted. He's less social, more irritable, and clearly battling something beyond vanity. Some even whisper he's become obsessed with staying relevant in the Kardashian orbit, afraid that if he doesn't keep up appearances, he'll fade out of the empire entirely. The tragedy is that Scott once prided himself on appearance. The sleek cars, the designer suits, the confidence of a man who owned every room. Now he's become the very cautionary tale. Hollywood's obsession with quick fixes was bound to create. For Scott, the cost isn't just his health. It's his identity, and maybe even his place in the family dynasty he's fought so hard to remain part of. Jessica Simpson has always been open about her weight struggles. She wrote about it. She talked about it. Fans loved her because she was real, authentic, honest about the pressure women face in Hollywood. But lately, her story doesn't add up. Jessica claims her dramatic transformation came from discipline and hard work, a little exercise, a little portion control, the same routine advice celebs love to recycle. But experts are calling foul because the speed and extremity of her weight loss doesn't match the narrative, not even close. Look at her timeline. The before and after photos don't just show steady progress, they show sudden, dramatic drops. Changes that health professionals say are almost impossible without pharmaceutical intervention. And then there's the behavior behind the scenes. Former staffers describe a very different Jessica than the one posting motivational captions on Instagram touts. Obsessive weighing, extreme food restriction, mood swings that forced last-minute schedule changes, the kind of behavior that screams desperation, not balance. What makes this worse is her brand. Jessica once built trust with fans by being the relatable mom who struggled with the same issues they did. She cried about post-pregnancy weight gain. She admitted to insecurity, and that vulnerability made her millions. Fans believed her because she had always told the truth. So when she insists today that it's just hard work and discipline, fans want to believe her. But the evidence tells another story, and the silence about pharmaceutical shortcuts feels less like privacy and more like betrayal, because here's the real danger. When Jessica posts her miracle selfies and insists it's just clean eating, regular women try to follow in her footsteps. They work out, they restrict, they punish themselves when the weight doesn't drop as fast, not realizing the truth behind the curtain, that Jessica's results may have come from a prescription, not a treadmill. The tragic irony, Jessica Simpson, once the poster child for honesty about body struggles, may now be one of the industry's most misleading voices. And the trust she built over decades, one carefully posed selfie at a time, it's slipping away. Sharon Osbourne did what most celebrities refuse to do. She told the truth. For years, Sharon has lived under the spotlight. Talk shows, reality TV, red carpets. She's no stranger to pressure. But when it came to Hollywood's latest obsession, she didn't hide behind vague words like lifestyle changes. She admitted it. She took the drug, and it nearly destroyed her. Sharon described the side effects in brutal detail. Nausea so constant she could barely eat. Energy so low she struggled to work. Her weight plummeted to a frighteningly low number, far below healthy. Her once vibrant personality reduced to exhaustion. And here's the kicker. Even when she stopped the medication, the nightmare didn't end. The damage lingered. Her body didn't just bounce back, she struggled to regain weight, to eat normally again, to feel like herself. But maybe the most chilling part was Sharon's honesty about the psychology. She admitted the rapid transformation became addictive. The rush of watching the pounds vanish, the thrill of control. Even as her body screamed for mercy, her mind wanted more. That's the dark side no one in Hollywood talks about. These drugs don't just shrink your waistline, they mess with your head. They turn weight loss into an obsession, and Sharon was brave enough to say it out loud. Her confession hit Hollywood like a thunderclap. Here was a veteran of the industry, someone who's seen it all, admitting she lost control. Her story stripped away the glamour. It showed the ugly reality beneath the red carpet glow. Why Sharon's story matters most. Because it proves what others are trying to hide. Even celebrities with access to the best doctors, the best care, the best everything, can still get trapped, can still lose themselves in the chase for perfection. Sharon Osbourne may have survived her miracle drug nightmare, but her scars, both physical and emotional, are a warning. A warning Hollywood desperately wishes she'd kept to herself. Amy Schumer's experience with Hollywood's so-called miracle drug is heartbreaking, because for her, the cost wasn't just nausea, it wasn't just fatigue, it was her ability to be a mom. Amy has always been brutally honest with her audience. She's joked about her body, her flaws, her insecurities. It's what made her relatable. But when she tried the drug, the laughter stopped. She described being constantly sick, too nauseous to eat, too drained to function, and worst of all, too ill to play with her young son. For a comedian whose brand is built on being raw and real, that was the breaking point. Amy even revealed she has a rare gene mutation that made her extra sensitive to the side effects. Her body wasn't just rejecting the drug, it was rebelling against it. And every day she stayed on it, the toll grew worse. While other celebrities pushed through the pain for vanity, Amy made a different choice. She walked away. She said no to the miracle, no to the shortcut, because nothing was worth sacrificing her time with her child. And that decision set her apart from almost every other star in this scandal. Instead of covering it up with vague Instagram captions, instead of pretending it was clean eating or hard work, Amy called it out, she admitted the truth, and she urged other parents in Hollywood to think twice before putting their careers above their kids. Of course, that honesty came with consequences. Hollywood doesn't like when someone ruins the illusion. Amy has faced backlash, industry pressure, even criticism for being too real. But she hasn't backed down. Her story may not be glamorous. It doesn't come with glossy before and after photos. It comes with vulnerability, with honesty, with the image of a mom choosing her son over a red carpet moment. And in a culture built on appearances, that might be the bravest transformation of all. If there's one celebrity who felt untouchable in this conversation, it was Oprah, the woman who spent decades sharing her battles with weight. The woman who cried, who confessed, who brought millions along for every yo-yo cycle. She wasn't just another star. She was the trusted voice of honesty, which is why her admission hit like an earthquake. Yes, even Oprah, the queen of authenticity, revealed she's been using the same miracle medication sweeping Hollywood. For fans, it felt like betrayal, because Oprah didn't just share her weight loss journey, she monetized it, she shaped culture around it. She turned her struggles into talk show moments, book deals, even billion-dollar partnerships with weight loss companies. She wasn't just on the journey, she was leading it. And now, she's standing on the other side of the line she once warned us not to cross. Critics say her choice doesn't just affect her, it changes the entire conversation. Because when Oprah endorses something, people listen. Millions trust her word, millions follow her lead. So if Oprah takes the shot, how many everyday people will risk the same side effects, believing it's safe because she said so? Doctors are already worried. This isn't about a celebrity dropping pounds, it's about a movement, a cultural shift. And Oprah, of all people, just gave it her blessing. The irony is brutal. Oprah once told audiences to love themselves as they are. She preached patience, self-acceptance. Now, she's joined the very trend she built her career criticizing. And maybe that's the darkest truth of all. If Oprah Winfrey, the woman who seemed stronger than the pressure, gave in, what hope does anyone else in Hollywood have? And now we get to the most shocking transformation of all. Kourtney Kardashian. For years, she's been the sister who stood apart. While Kim and Khloe leaned into glam squads and Photoshop, Kourtney built her brand on something else. Authenticity, organic living, holistic health, natural beauty. She became the face of wellness with her lifestyle empire, selling supplements, detox products, and promising fans they too could achieve balance the clean way. But then, suddenly, her appearance began to change. Not gradually, not naturally. Dramatically, her face slimmed down, her body reshaped, and fans couldn't ignore it. And when the questions came, she dodged them. Cryptic answers, carefully curated Instagram photos, posts that avoided showing her full body, mixed with conveniently timed family vacation absences. Doctors analyzing her transformation point out classic signs of pharmaceutical intervention, changes that don't align with diet, yoga, or green juice. And here's where it gets messy. If the rumors are true, Kourtney's entire wellness empire is built on a contradiction. She sells natural solutions while allegedly relying on drugs behind the scenes. To her millions of customers, that isn't just hypocrisy, it's betrayal. Industry insiders whisper about growing tension within the Kardashian clan. Some family members are worried her secret could tarnish their entire brand. Because if Kourtney, the one who preached wellness the loudest, isn't living by her own rules, what does that say about the rest of them? Fans who once saw her as the realest Kardashian now feel misled. Every vague interview answer, every supplement promotion, every filtered photo, it all looks different under the shadow of speculation. And the risk isn't just to her reputation. If the truth comes out, Kourtney could face a full-blown scandal. Not just bad press, but accusations of exploiting her followers for profit. Her story is the ultimate Hollywood cautionary tale. Because when your brand is built on authenticity, one secret can bring the whole empire crashing down. This isn't just Hollywood vanity gone wrong. It's a full-blown health crisis. Doctors designed these drugs for diabetes patients. Now, they're fashion accessories. And celebrities, the very people with access to the best medical care, are playing Russian roulette with their health. Emergency rooms in LA and New York are filling with side effect cases, and plastic surgeons are cashing in on Ozempic face corrections. But the saddest truth? These disasters were preventable. Because behind every glamorous before and after, there's a hidden story of nausea, fatigue, regret, and broken promises. Hollywood's obsession with perfection isn't just changing bodies, it's destroying lives. Subscribe for more celebrity secrets they don't want you to know.